Mamma mia! Holy shit!
All right, guys, before we get into the drama, we have a remix of The Sound of Silence from Disturbed. Check it out. When brown lives are on the line, I'll sign those bones every time, because I'm a Zionist Jew. God told me I'm better than you, and a vision of an ethno-state in my mind, pure apartheid, within the sound of Zionism. Now look, this drama is extremely interesting because it calls into debate whether or not musicians should get political. Should artists use their art to draw attention to issues that matter in the world, or do they just stick to entertaining people? The drama between Disturbed and Kneecap, we can all blame on Rage Against the Machine.
Do you still find young artists that are reaching you, that are saying things that you really connect to?
Sure.
How about Kneecap?
What at the top of the list?
Yeah.
At the top of the list. I mean, they're clearly the Rage Against the Machine of now.
Why would Tom Morello say that? Because at Coachella, Kneecap had some uncensored messages for the audience. And I quote, "Israel is committing a genocide against the Palestinian people." You get the idea.
But then there's a gap.
Yeah.
To the next one.
On terrorism.
Yeah.
For a human rights thing. I understand people can debate how they feel about it, but a charge.
Yeah.
Terrorism charge.
Yeah. People, I mean, what they're doing in their art is what people could probably stand to do more in their lives, is to really speak truth to power.
Right.
And, Kneecap are not terrorists. What is terroristic is, 20,000 dead Palestinian children.
Yeah.
That's the story.
Bombing hospitals.
Now, while David DRAIMAN considered Rage Against the Machine a friend, at least in the past, let's just say that they were not impressed by these words about Kneecap. And this is what he had to say. "Shameful, truly. Wish I could say I was shocked. Guess my family doesn't count when it comes to my friends virtue signaling for those who support terror and incite Jew hatred." Now, Kneecap, of course, was thrilled to hear Tom Morello say that they are the Rage Against the Machine of today. And they wished him a phrase that I had to Google, fair Fs, which is Irish slang for like, good job, bro. Anyway, they responded to Disturbed and they said, "We don't care what religion anyone is or if they've won at all. We love all sound. Smiling and signing bombs to kids and other people's families just makes you a straight up, simple as free Palestine." Now, I recall David DRAIMAN saying that you shouldn't use your platform to get political in any way, just keep it about the music. He said something to that effect. If anyone can find the quote, please drop it in the comments. But you look on X about what people think about the whole situation, and people are just generally not happy. I don't care what anybody says. David DRAIMAN signing bombs intended to people is effing unforgivable. I don't give a F. Swap any nationality, race, or religion into the scenario. It's irrelevant. Writing your name on something you know is intended to innocent people is foul. And that's just what it is, man. We didn't forget this, bud. And they're just showing him signing that these instruments of death, that he's happy about. It's almost comical that David DRAIMAN thinks people don't like him because he's Jewish and not because he signed a literal bomb. Actually, if you teach David DRAIMAN is a war pig, he can block you back. Try it out. Speaking of war pigs, War Pigs is indeed the title of a very epic song by Black Sabbath, and it's all about anti-war. And David DRAIMAN was actually present at Ozzy Osbourne, Black Sabbath's final concert or final tour, and he went on stage and he got booed, and this this pro-war, pro-G-side sentiment is just not good for your career these days. Ask Piers Morgan. Here's what he had to say about the incident. Yes, there were a few boos when I walked out, but I came to pay homage to my teachers, my idols, the mighty Black Sabbath, and I wasn't about to let a few Jew-hating morons deter that. It's all about feeding their narrative, generating clickbait, and inciting hatred of Jews. The irony gets better, folks. You know, War Pigs is all about anti-war. Apparently, it depends on, you know, the war for people like Ozzy Osbourne and DRAIMAN, right? So, like, one of the last things Ozzy Osbourne did before he died was sign this letter to the BBC about this documentary about what's going on in Gaza. Take a look.
Again, the BBC under fire over the past week. This Gaza documentary, which is an absolute and utter crock of nonsense. They paid 400,000 quid. Some of it made its way to Hamas, it would appear. An open letter has now been sent by over 200 entertainment industry figures, including Ozzy and Sharon Osbourne, saying basically, what is the BBC going to do about this? They need a full investigation about this anti-Israel bias that continually raises its ugly head.
I mean, you see the clips about the documentary they're hating on. It's a bunch of children in rubble, just pain and anguish caused to the Palestinian people. And yet you have people like DRAIMAN and Ozzy Osbourne who are like, well, they're just anti-Semitic. I have no idea where that's coming from. Meanwhile, like rubble, bombs dropping, kids, so many kids, tens of thousands. And they're just like, oh, I have no idea where this hate is coming from. It's got to be totally random. Anyway, here's what David DRAIMAN had to explain himself with. Here's the thing, and I'll speak to you in small words so you understand. That shell was meant for Hamas, you know, the organization who has sworn to murder all Jews, not just Israelis, time and time again, including my family. You shoot at Jews, expect Jews to shoot back. Well, here's the thing, David. I like how you use the word meant. That shell was meant for Hamas. Unfortunately, it seems like all these shells seem to accidentally be getting most of the civilian population. What you intend and what happens, you can defend those two things after a certain time, but after it consistently keeps happening, you're saying like, oh, it was meant to do this, but it keeps doing this. Sooner or later, we're going to think that this ethnically cleansing Gaza is your plan all along. And that's certainly what it looks like. All right, so in conclusion, if you haven't guessed, I like it when artists use their art to draw attention and to convey what they feel about real issues. I don't necessarily think it's the smartest thing. I mean, you can ask Kneecap. They've gotten so much flack. I mean, literally, they were charged with terrorism for speaking the way that they did, for showing certain symbols. I almost think that it's impossible for artists not to get political. And even like, I'm thinking of rappers, like I'm thinking of Bob Marley. I'm thinking of Ice Cube, Snoop Dogg. Like at some point they've had something to say that was politically charged. And look, it's a major risk. And I think though, that's part of making art that matters.